Welcome back to Tech Talks from Commercial Baking. In this episode, sponsored by Puratos, I am speaking with Michael Gleason, Product Director for SBU Bakery, and Kareem Hussenbai, U.S. R&D Director for Sweet Goods. And we are discussing cost reduction tools for commercial bakery product development. Michael and Kareem, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for welcoming us, Giovanni.
So I'm going to start out by tapping into something really valuable that Puratos has, and that is the Taste Tomorrow research. You know, there is no secret that we are in an era of inflation. But what does Puratos Taste Tomorrow research? What is it revealing about consumer concerns? And how do you see that impacting commercial bakers?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's clear inflation is definitely having a big impact, not only on consumers, but also on producers. From our Taste Tomorrow research, we see that food prices are the top three issues when it comes to consumers making purchasing decisions. We see commodities such as eggs, butter, oil continue to fluctuate pretty broadly, and that cost can change up to 50% depending on a period of time. What we see is that consumers are planning to already either lower their spending on food, and they can do that either by going to trade down to lower cost options or just foregoing some bread items altogether.
So, on the flip side of that, consumers are definitely cost conscious, but are there some areas where they might be willing to spend a little bit more?
Yeah, for sure. There's some areas that will always remain interesting for consumers. So if you're able to promote more around freshness, taste, or things like clean label or healthier ingredients, consumers are always going to be willing to pay more for those ingredients. And our Taste Tomorrow research reveals really similar findings. So 48% of consumers are interested in freshness. Nearly 30% are more interested in getting these more innovative flavors and tastes. And it even goes down to where ingredients are sourced from. So the use of local, natural, and clean label ingredients are interesting to around 25% of consumers. So those areas I think are always going to be fairly evergreen when it comes to consumers and their interest in where they're going to vote with their dollars.
So let's dive into some tools that Puratos offers to help bakers achieve these benefits that consumers are looking for while also controlling the cost. Like you said, inflation is impacting bakery operations. So let's talk a little bit about those tools where they can control costs in their production. The first one that I want to dive into is costly ingredients like eggs. So what are some of the solutions that Purato's portfolio that can sort of help ease that pressure without impacting product quality?
Yeah, Johnny, you really pointed out correctly. It is true that the egg prices have doubled in the past 2 years due to price volatility and bird flu crisis. In cakes, for example, egg represent up to 30% of the total ingredient cost. So we recommend at Puratos reducing the quantity of eggs by 15% in cakes, in muffins, in cake donuts, using Acti egg reduction. So this is Puratos' unique and cutting-edge enzyme technology. This exercise can also help producers save 12% approximately on their egg costs. So this is quite significant. In our range, we also have an egg wash alternative for buns, for laminated pastries, which is called Sunset Glaze. It delivers, I can tell you, an outstanding shine and color, and it avoids all the quality problems that a producer might have using fresh egg. And beyond that immediate financial benefits using Acti egg reduction or sunset glaze, these two solutions can also help companies to make ethical choices, like aligning with their sustainability goals, or simply help them transitioning from the use of cage egg to cage-free eggs, which a lot of companies are signing to be ready by 25, 26.
Wow. And that's just right around the corner.
Exactly.
Okay. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was freshness and shelf life. So, how can extending a shelf life and improving freshness impact the bottom line for a baker? Are there tools available, and how can product quality impact cost savings?
Mike mentioned it earlier. Consumers are willing to pay more for a fresher product, right? So here at Puratos, we offer different clean label solutions using enzyme technologies like ActiFresh for cakes or Intense Fresh for bread. Some of them will help to improve softness, moistness of the crumb. Some will offer short bite and overall a premium melting sensation. And by improving freshness in bread and cakes, we obviously allow bakers to extend the shelf life of the products, right? Which, as a result, will reduce the stale returns.
So then what about products like pastries or even sweetbreads? Indulgent products like these, they check a lot of boxes for consumers. What tools does Puratos have available to help bakers formulate in areas like reducing fat or improving texture or improving freshness, especially when consumers are not willing to give up their indulgences? Is there a solution that can have that magic combination?
It's clear consumers aren't going to trade down in terms of quality. They are going to look for something that's a little bit more affordable for their price points. And a great way for bakeries to get there is by using products like Intense Pure Slim, which is designed to remove up to 50% of Indo solid fat. So butter, for example, which we know has been a fairly volatile ingredient in terms of costs in the past. And not only are you able to replace this, which will A, help your costs, and B, help your nutritional profile. But it's also going to give you a great texture as well. And Kareem was talking a little bit about replacement of eggs, replacement of butter. All of those things are contributing to sustainability as well. When you can move away from some of these animal products, you get into a more sustainable area.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that you brought up butter because I feel like butter is such a challenge on so many different levels because one minute real butter is in and the next minute real butter is out. And then it's back in because of quality, but then it's out because of calories or sustainability, like you said, with animal fat. And so do you think a solution like this kind of gives bakers that continuity that they don't have to keep up with that volatility of opinion from consumers when it comes to this particular ingredient?
Absolutely, and it's one of those things you can have your cake and eat it too, sort of with Pure Slim. Not to promise the moon and everything, but being able to reduce that much fat and still having that amazing texture that we see, it's really unique to Puratos technology. It's actually derivative of a protein that we've sourced from Yellowstone. It's a thermostable protease, and it's working on the product at only very high temperatures. So once the bread or the sweet code goes into the oven, the enzyme will activate for a short period of time and then stop working, which is what gives you that short bite without overworking the protease to really break down the bread or the sweet good too much. So it's a unique technology that has a really excellent application in reducing fat and keeping quality.
All right. So I just have one last question, and that is what is the best way for a baker to get in touch with Puratos to learn more about your cost saving ingredient solutions?
So the first step, if you are already a Puratos customer, reach out to your key account manager or your sales rep. They'll be able to direct you to people like myself or Kareem or our colleagues to give you more information around our availability of cost savings. If you're not a Puratos customer yet, we recommend going to puratos.us, which is our local website. There you can find a ton of information about our products. You can also find links to our web shop, where we have our e-commerce platform. So you can even order some products directly off of our website after you register as a customer.
Awesome. Well, Kareem and Mike, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. This was really interesting to learn about some of the ingredient technologies that Puratos has that can help with cost savings and additional benefits beyond just looking at the bottom line. So I really appreciate both of you taking time to talk to me today.
Yeah, great, Johnny. Thank you. It was a great exchanging with you on this topic. Yeah.
Yes, thanks very much, Joni. We appreciate it.